But you own it though, right?
Of course not. Who do you think owns it?
Man, but how? But you would know. You would know to make the deal. No, but wait.
You gotta stop.
The Jewish people are my new Drake.
Right. No, leave them out of Drake.
But I don't even think it's Jewish people for you. I think it's a certain people that are doing certain things.
I think it was 20 people. I think it was 20 people who kind of hurt you, and you kind of taking it out on
and they happen to be Jewish.
And the thing is, I have did that with like people from like our projects. I had beef with, and then I just took it out on the whole project. And I'm being honest, I was wrong. So I'm just telling you, please, the Jewish people love you. Black people, we love you.
I'm still wrong. I'm still wrong. This is the one where you win the Emmy, right? Because you say Ye calls out the Jewish media.
No, we do not say that. We say Ye makes amends with Jewish people. Because we love Jewish people, love black people, we love everybody, and we love Ye, and we're gonna make everything amended.
I didn't realize I need tissues for this video. Oh my gosh. Hold on a sec. Okay.
Chinese people do not hate the Japanese in the way that white people hate Jews. There's a very real sense in China today and in Korea today in which they struggle against Japanese media. Children in China and Korea grow up watching Japanese cartoons, playing Japanese video games. They're exposed to Japanese images of beauty again and again, Japanese movies, Japanese pornography. There is no hatred against the Japanese, against Japanese corporations in China and Korea today in any way comparable to the hatred that white people have for Jews, despite the history of the Japanese Empire, despite the history of World War II. People in Poland today, who do they hate more? The Germans or the Jews? Who do they blame for their problems more? The Germans or the Jews? At this moment in Ukraine, as much as the Ukrainians may hate and resent the Russians, their hatred for the Jews runs deeper. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, I guarantee you, the people of Ukraine, just like the people of Poland, will continue to hate the Jews, will continue to blame the Jews for all their problems. They'll never hate the Russians that way. They'll never hate the Germans that way. And you know what's fucked up? Black people in America hate us even more. Because just like Kanye, they never can forgive us for being the ones that Moses set free from slavery in Egypt, when their imaginary God never did that for them when they were slaves in the United States of America.
I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
I'm not religious, but none of that makes me any less Jewish.
People think that you can't be Jewish if you're not religious.
I'm very proud to be Jewish. You don't necessarily have to be religious. Actually, when we did our 23andMe, being Jewish came up as the majority of my genetics. It's a big part of my identity.
People should really take the time to get to know, especially in the Jewish community, get to know their neighbors and get to know the people that comprise the Jewish people, and not perceive that it's only Ashkenaz Jews that are out there, only Sephardic Jews that are out there.
I'm not religious. None of that makes me any less Jewish. And that's because Judaism is an ethno-religion. And what that means is, for most Jewish people, you're born Jewish. And you don't get to choose whether you're Jewish any more than a black person chooses whether they're black.
It's really tiring to explain over and over again who you are and what you're doing in shul.
Every meeting I go, like Esther said, you don't look Jewish. How do you become Jewish, they say?
The way people think about the American Jewish narrative, or just the Jewish narrative in general, is generally a Eurocentric, Ashkenormative lens. You know, Jewish is like bagel and lox, Woody Allen and Barbra Streisand. And it's very highly cognitively dissonant. Jewish stereotypes are Eurocentric. Like, what's the stereotype of a black Jewish person? Or an Asian Jewish person, or a Hispanic Jewish person? None of those exist, because they don't think that we exist enough to even make a caricature of us.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements?
Are the statements you think you should be walking back?
Well, we can't amend. To amend is not to pretend. Mm-hmm. We need to amend. Because I ain't finna pretend. Uh-huh. I'm just gonna make an assumption. It's a Jewish media platform. It's because we're going to demand the amendments. The amendments in our culture. We're gonna demand, I'm me tooing the Jewish culture right now and saying, y'all gotta come out and say what y'all have done between the mob action, what they'll do for groupthink. Like if you go against them, I put the White Lives Matter t-shirt and they cancel my shows. And they've actually called multiple people and threatened them to step away from me. They called Candace Owens, they called Tucker Carlson, they called anybody, even the people that was with me when I had the red hat, they called them. Tucker Carlson works for Fox. Fox is not allowed to show anything because just like when Jared Kushner was in office and I say that he held my boy Trump back, think about that if I had said that 4 or 5 years ago. I want to talk about the people that threatened my life.
But that's when you was in full support of Trump.
I'm still in full support of Trump. I just think that I would be better. Jared Kushner is an example of how the Jewish people have their hand on every single business that controls the world.
Sega, the Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, that Sega. Who founded it? Who controlled it? Taito, another giant in the history of video games. Who founded Taito? Who was its first executive? Nobody says that video games are a Jewish conspiracy. In fact, many of the most influential, many of the most brilliant minds in the history of the video game industry were Jewish. Specifically, they were Jewish men who worked to bridge the gap between Western and Japanese culture, both at Sega and Taito. This is not an exhaustive list of examples. Nobody says that video games are a Jewish conspiracy because people like video games. People love video games. It would give the average member of the public a more positive view of Jewish culture and the Jewish community if they fucking realized the extent to which a Jewish American man and a Jewish Russian refugee who escaped into Manchuria and then Japan, that these were two of the most important people in the history of video games. And meanwhile, why is it that there's so little interest in the ethnicity and religion of who controls the oil industry, who controls the automotive industry, who controls The tobacco industry, who controls the cattle herding industry, beef farming, slaughterhouse. There are so many powerful industries in the world that have so many famous magnates and billionaire families that are not Jewish. It's only and exclusively the Jewish-owned companies, the Jewish-owned industries, the areas of the economy where Jewish people have to have been successful. Those are the ones conspiracy theories are attached to. Kanye, if you watch this video, tell me something. Do you think Jewish people would be more powerful or less powerful if they controlled the oil industry?
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures.
And I'm jealous of the Jewish community. I'm jealous of how the fact that they do not abort their people. I'm jealous of how the fact.
So why not say that as opposed to
I'm saying
saying
it right now.
it?
It's
Okay.
coming now. Let me say it, bro.
Okay.
It's coming now.
All right.
It's coming out. Let me say it. You have to get to it. I'm jealous of the fact of how they don't abort their babies. I'm jealous of the fact of how they stay with their wives. I'm jealous of the fact of how they do business together. I'm jealous of the fact of how they read their contracts and understand their contracts. I'm jealous of the way Jewish people do business. And I'm jealous, not just for me, but for our entire culture. And I believe that once we rise up, that we will have a position to be able to serve God.
Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
You know what? Why would the Jewish media push BLM and force people into outrage, right? But then say, I don't have the right to my anger. As a human being, I know I can read all the books, I can meditate, I can study and say, hey, I don't have a problem with Jewish culture. I don't have a problem with what Jewish people have done to my people. I don't have a problem with the fact that the Jewish people have bought. I can say that, but I do. And I own my right and I own my anger. No, I'm not talking specifically about businessmen. I'm talking about you, TMZ. I'm talking about the media also. I'm talking about the entire culture. A thing that a Jewish person will always say is they'll say, this is mine. With something with like something a black person built or that any company built. And they'd be like, that's mine now. Now, my thing is like, look, all Jewish people are not bad.
Please say that.
I just said it.
All right.
But I need the ones to step up. Because up to this point, I can name you 20 nightmare situations.
Yeah, but that you can't. That's like me going to a projects, right? Mm-hmm. That's like me going to 40 projects and 40 projects and shit happened bad to me. But then I could go to 40 projects in a certain time and the church people walk me right through that same projects and I'm good. Is it the projects to blame?
Yeah.
Or is it certain individuals?
Or going to Mexico in the cartel. It's like,
is it them certain individuals?
Yeah, it's a project mentality. I'm from Chicago, yes. And I have a project mentality. Even with the intelligence that I have a project mentality.
Right.
If I go to somebody block and somebody shoot at me, kill one of my homeboys, then it's fuck they whole block. Now you get it?
Yeah.
Now you get it?
Kanye West claims there is a conspiracy against him in the mainstream media, in what he likes to call the Jewish media. He claims there's a conspiracy to silence him. Kanye, if this conspiracy you're talking about is so powerful, why haven't you been silenced yet? Kanye West claims there's a conspiracy to kill him, not just to ruin his career, not just to undermine his campaign to get himself elected president of the United States, not just to discredit his political opinions, not just to ruin his marriage, not just to get him prescribed psychiatric medications. No. He's claimed there's a Jewish conspiracy to kill him. If this conspiracy is so powerful as you say it is, why aren't you dead yet?
Modern day hustler, my economy redistributed just to reach a higher me at the House of Blues with a modeling bitch. Magic show where I trick when I'm splurging my chips. It's a sanity how my soul just drift with her fangs in my neck while she sucking my dick. I'm mythological, so my origin still complicated. Assassinated, hitmen, they contemplated. Devilish ways keep my moves discreet. Technique that I freak cause I'm rather unique. I'm impeccable, yes, the gorgeous gangster. Stack bundles when I rinse, real niggas in danger. Species, I'm allergic to you crap niggas, so I sneeze and bust on you ass niggas. Palomino when I'm fucking with strippers. Hoes love Poppy, I'm a big tipper. All alone as I write in anger, I write this alone in Vegas. She drop it low as my energy faded. I write this alone in Vegas. I'm on a strip wildin' out, styling on haters. I write this alone in Vegas. So I never wanna leave cause I'm almost famous. I write this alone in Vegas.
Mazel tov, we're so happy and excited that we were granted a new grandson, a first grandson, our fourth grandchild. Soon we're going to have a bris, a circumcision. And in this Torah reading this week, we're going to read about the first circumcision where God tells Abraham that he's a chosen person, he's going to have a great nation come from him, they're going to have a mission, a purpose, and in order to seal that covenant, they're going to do a bris, a circumcision at 8 days old. The question is, why take a child who's 8 days and bring him into the covenant of God when he doesn't really understand anything? We hope it doesn't really hurt him much, and we don't think that he really understands much of what's going on. Why should we wait till he's a little bit more mature, and then he can make a decision and make a covenant, a meaningful covenant, a pact with God to carry with him. But then there's something, a covenant with God that supersedes any rationale. The next stage is that God made a covenant with Abraham beyond any rationale. And that is what we're trying to teach this child and make a covenant. A covenant is something that goes so deep, you can't really understand it. And that's what kept Judaism alive for so many years. 3,000 years, we're still here. We have this deep connection that supersedes anything that makes sense or doesn't make sense. It's super rational. It's not important how much we understand it. It's important that we are committed to it.